So as you saw in my last video, I made a stop in New Jersey to pick up some parts for my Monte Carlo build, and I had absolutely no idea that this guy had a beautiful 65 Chevelle sitting in his garage. Talking to Don about his 65 gave me a lot of motivation to get home and get started on the El Camino project as soon as I can get it back from the body shop. And after paying $15 to cross this bridge to get the hell out of New Jersey, I was highly motivated to get back to Ohio, where you're almost always less than 15 minutes away from an interstate. I didn't think I was ever going to make it onto an interstate or a turnpike. My God. Once I got on the turnpike, I made a beeline for Maple Grove. Unfortunately, I was running late, so I missed all the action. But it seems like everybody had a good time, and most everybody's going home in one piece. Everybody from Tyler and Petey's camp were loading up by the time I pulled into the track. Now, this is the first time I've ever been to Maple Grove, and I could not believe they were racing as cold as it was today. What'd you do, stink it up?
Yeah, I took my tire.
What happened?
Well, that's what happens when you got a little bit of horsepower. You get a lot of RPM and MPHs, and it grabs you.
After checking out the damage on Tyler's car, I went over to see Petey and stir him up a little bit. Here they are, the two happy losers. Huh? Long Island to the back.
I made it to the final. You made it to the final in the losers bracket, at least. Let me defend myself. I made it to the semis in the real bracket. Right? So he's a first round duck.
No, it's called strategically doing what you got.
Yeah, actually, I was jealous. You'll see in my video that I was like, nah, no buyback. I was like, yo, I was like, all right, my friends are in, let's just do it. And then I was jealous. I wanted to buy into his fucking easy round. Quack, quack.
All right, I love that thing.
Before I left, I wanted to check in on Scooter and tell him I was proud of him for not wadding his shit up on radials, especially with as cold as it was today.
You don't have to worry about me wadding shit up. That's not my MO.
Finally, it was time for me to head out into the sunset towards Ohio. And believe me, I did my best to keep up with that sunset. I made it home about midnight, took Sunday off to rest and edit, and then Monday it was back to work. Everyone was busy out in the new shop helping to put plywood up around the bottom of the shop walls, and Tanner's back for the first time since his incident. Welcome back, Mr. Steve.
I'm back.
You're back. Explain to everybody what happened.
We wanted the fan to kick on by temperature so the engine could get warmer.
Put a sending unit in the head.
And apparently it didn't work. The fans never kicked on. It got to about 170. I shut it off and I was like, I wonder what the coolant level's at. So I walked up here and I grabbed this. It's cold and I can squeeze it.
Yeah.
And like put it together.
Right.
So I'm like,
can't be that bad.
It can't have that much pressure on it. So I'm standing like this and kind of just taking this off nice and slow.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it just blew it backwards. Literally, it blew my arm backwards, and when it blew my arm, it was going to the ceiling of the OG shop. It covered, I have my sweatshirt about here, and that's why I only have a burn from here down, because the sweatshirt was right here and it stopped it. And the first thing I did is, once I made it over here, grabbed my sweatshirt like this, ripped it off, and then I called Vicki and I was like, I just Jimmy Daled myself. Can you bring me an ice pack? And she walks out there and I'm shirtless with no hat on because my hat just disappeared too.
Yeah, it's in the bucket up in there in the shop. I found it.
Somehow. And so that happened. I put the ice pack on it. And then your brother shows up and the first thing he tries to do is pull his phone out and start recording. I said, you're not not a good time.
So what happened is, once you drain the cooling system, and if there's a thermostat, which there is, if the thermostat doesn't have a steam hole in it, all the air that was in the cylinder heads and the block builds up pressure under the thermostat, and you can squeeze this hose and it feels cold because there's nothing coming out of the thermostat. It's not circulating. But on the other side of the cooling system, below the thermostat, there is a lot of steam pressure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I learned that the hard way.
The next item on the agenda for today is to get this frame and engine unloaded off the back of my dually, which turned out to be a little bit more difficult than what we first anticipated. What's the matter, Steve?
Fucking Rooney do this or something? How are you supposed to unstrap that?
Oh, you know what? I think Rooney did do that. Let's just say Tanner wasn't impressed with the way this thing was strapped down. Wait till you see what all went on behind the scenes of loading this thing.
I can just imagine Tyler and Rooney moving this or trying to load it on here.
Once Tanner got the straps off, I brought the skid loader around with the forks, and we slid the forks up under the frame and prepared to carefully lift it off the truck and put it in a new spot, up underneath the lean-to, behind the shop. That's when my brother took issue with what I'm trying to do, saving as many old small block Chevys as I possibly can.
I'm wondering when he become a junk collector.
I don't know. When stuff's a good deal, I guess. Can't pass it up.
I get good deals, but all my stuff's junk.
Yeah, did you buy Fords?
Not all the time. So when did you become a junk collector?
I'm not a junk collector. This is a small block Chevy rescue operation.
Really?
That's a 350 and there's a 327 in the shop.
Well, I've got rescue operations all over the place all the time.
Yours is junk. Shortly after we unloaded that small block Chevy in the Nova subframe, a load of lumber showed up. So Jeremy, Dave, and Tanner got busy putting the wood up in the shop, and I took my dually straight to the car wash to get it decontaminated. The truck was covered in salt brine and I wanted to get all the fluids rinsed off the bed. While I'm in at the car wash, Tanner put the Malibu up on the lift so that we can try and determine what this noise was underneath the car that kept me from taking it to Florida. It literally sounds like the flywheel's hitting the starter gear, but I could find no evidence of it.
Beats the hell out of me. I can't seem to get it to do it.
I thought maybe it might have something to do with engine or transmission temperature, so me and June Pup decided to take the Malibu out around the block, warm it up, and see if we can get this thing to make the same noise that I heard the other day. Now, if you've ever been in the position of trying to track down some kind of intermittent noise, you'll know the situation I'm in. You know damn well there's something wrong, and I know if I don't find it now, I'll find it later in the most inopportune way and in the most inopportune way. And I've got plans for this car in the next couple of weeks that I can't have fouled up by a problem that should have been fixed before it left the driveway. Beats the hell out of me, man. It won't make that noise. I don't know.
I wish I had the pleasure of hearing it so I could at least kind of get an idea, but
It just sounds like the flex plate is cracked or broken, and it sounds like the teeth of the ring gear on the flex plate are hitting the starter or the bell housing or something.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like, but I can't get it to do it now. It did it once in Florida, and it did it again when I was backing it out, and now it won't do it, so I don't know. Good news though, El Camino's done.
ooh.
The one good thing that happened on my test drive was I heard that the El Camino's finished up at House of Pearls. Guess what?
What?
Your El Camino's done.
Oh,
I'm gonna go get it.
that was fast.
So me and Tannerite hop in the dually and head north to the body shop. I can't wait to see this thing in person.
I saw the pictures and I don't think they do it justice.
I knew that the El Camino had a few little issues with paint and body work when I bought it, and I was hoping to take it up to Nikki to have her do some paint correction work on it well before the accident I had during sick week. Since Nikki wanted to remove most of the chrome, I replaced everything that they removed with new pieces, including the mirrors and El Camino badges. It was all hands on deck up at the body shop to get this car finished before I came to pick it up so that I could drive it home before we get any bad weather. Here in Ohio at the moment, there's a little bit of salt brine on the roads, so I was really hoping to get the car taken home today while the roads are still dry. Paul had sent me pictures of the car in each stage of the process of putting it back together, but the pictures he sent don't do it justice. Dude.
You like the color, Matt?
Yes.
Yeah.
Look at that. Oh my God.
Turned out pretty good.
It turned out amazing. Thank you guys so much.
Of course.
Once Nikki and Jesse finished getting the car cleaned up and put back together, it was finally time to see all their hard work on full display out in the sunlight. Matching the paint on the El Camino was a very difficult task. The color changes between green and blue depending on the lighting and which way you look at it. Thanks to all Nikki's hard work, wet sanding and buffing the El Camino, it now looks better than it ever did before. We stopped in Granville and topped off the fuel tank on the El Camino and the pickup truck, and then drove it back to the shop where I could show it to Vicki for the first time since it came back from Florida. When I pulled in the driveway, I couldn't wait to see the look on her face when she finally got to see her El Camino all cut and buffed and polished.
They really matched the color good.
Oh, they did an incredible job.
And it's way shinier than it was before.
Oh yeah,
It's like,
Nikki put her touch to it.
yeah.
I can't thank everybody at House of Pearls enough for squeezing this project in unexpectedly after I had the accident down in Florida. Now that the El Camino's back in one piece, I can start to focus my attention on other projects, as well as trying to get started putting a small block in it, as well as an overdrive transmission. Although we've got a lot going on right now out in the shop, both working on the shop and on the race cars themselves, I still want to try and get started putting this 327 down in the El Camino as soon as possible, so long as we don't run into any major problems. So, this is a 327, but we're not going to use the Power Glide. I don't want to lose any of the kickdown linkage and any of that in case somebody decides they want that stuff. That stuff's hard to find.
Yeah.
But I want to get this engine cleaned up. We're not going to use the manifolds. So we can take the manifolds off, separate the Power Glide from the 327, and I want to start getting it ready to put in the El Camino.
All right. You want me to put it on an engine stand?
Yeah, let's just go ahead and get it on an engine stand, and I want to go ahead and paint it. Like, it's painted from the top down to about the manifolds, but the bottom of it still a little grimy looking.
Nobody sees it when it's in the car.
Well, I'll see it. So Tanner gets the cherry picker out, bolts an engine plate to the intake, and starts getting it ready to put on an engine stand. And that's when I realize we've got some very important parts missing. So this engine came out of a 67 Chevelle that belongs to the guy that owns the Orange Nova out back, and I told him that I'm going to tune the carburetor in and dial the Orange Nova in for him and trade for giving me this wonderful 327. Unfortunately, when the engine got dropped off, I didn't realize that the power steering and the alternator brackets were missing. So I'm going to make a little drive down today to pick that stuff up and drop off my Monte Carlo parts in at Jack's Wax after I make a little trip in the El Camino down to Asheville to pick up the power steering and the alternator. Now, when I left the house, the skies were nice and blue, but as I get closer to Asheville, the clouds are rolling in and I start getting nervous about raindrops. So at this point, I start trying to hustle to make my way down to Asheville, find this place where these parts are, get them loaded up, and head back home before the El Camino gets covered in salt brine. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate you. As soon as we loaded up the parts, I brought up directions straight to Jack's Wax so I can go up and check on Billy's 55 Chevy they're working on and drop off all these new NOS parts for my Monte Carlo. Todd Isaac with Jack's Wax knew I was stopping in today, and he was excited to show me what they've gotten done on the 55. So it looks like Tidy's been busy.
Man, I tell you, when he came in and started this roof, you know, it was, you can't hardly probably see on camera, but it was like totally scratched and swirled. And he has, this thing looks like brand new.
I know.
It looks like somebody painted it.
I know. Here, to give him some idea, let's show him the hood. Oh yeah, you can see. That's one spot on the hood that he's worked on, and the rest of the hood is as it was. And the weird thing about this car is the black primarily is single stage, except one door is base clear.
Yeah.
And then the red on the top and then on the deck lid is all base clear.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a Heinz 57 of paints.
Yeah, definitely. And it's funny because we didn't know it until we started doing the paint depth gauge.
Right.
Finding out that, yeah, this was just lacquer and it had clear. And then one door, I believe the driver's side door, black has clear. So, yeah, it's a little mixed match.
Yeah, typical for us. Dude, I hit the honey hole over in New Jersey.
Oh man, I seen that.
Oh, you've already seen the video?
Yeah, I seen it. That was impressive. You've been on a mission.
I've been on a mission. Brand new GM grill, brand new GM sail panel emblems that go behind the quarter glass on the driver and passenger side, brand new hood ornament, brand new lock cover for the deck lid that's missing currently, brand new Monte Carlo fender emblems, brand new Monte Carlo trunk lid emblem, and two brand new GM NOS taillight bezels, and all new chrome that goes around the license plate in the back.
What was the hardest part to find?
The bezel for the driver's side rear taillight and the grill.
Yeah.
Like, I went clear to New Jersey and picked that stuff up.
Yeah, that was impressive.
But this one,
These are here. I would imagine these are kind of tough to find brand new ones.
well, these are, that's an aftermarket.
Got it.
You can find them GM, but that one's an aftermarket. But this one came from Venezuela. That's crazy, isn't it?
You start dealing with these cars, it's wild. You never know where you'll find this stuff.
Yeah, so the guy over in New Jersey that I talked to, his name was Don, that I got some of the stuff from, you know, he explained to me that once computerized parts management systems were put in place at GM, where GM could see what parts were available and what was discontinued, like the dealerships and everybody were on this network. Once that happened, anything that was discontinued could be returned for 90% of their money back, and then it was destroyed.
And that's how I ended up in Venezuela.
There was a GM assembly plant down in Venezuela from 1953 until 1981. and they actually assembled brand new Monte Carlos and Malibus, 4-doors now. The Malibus were all 4-door sedans, but those cars were assembled in Venezuela, and there's a lot of GM parts still lingering down there in South America, and it's turning up on eBay.
Yeah. That's the
So-
coolest part about building these old cars is just the stories you end up finding out.
Oh,
You would have
yeah.
never known. I would have never known that.
I would have never known either. Like when I found this piece on eBay and I saw where it was located, I was like, scam. You know what I mean?
Yeah, somebody
Scam.
not today.
Yeah, not today, but it was real. I mean,
Yeah.
and I've actually messaged this guy, and he explained to me exactly how these parts came to be in his possession. And it was, you know, and a lot of the stuff, what's crazy is it looked like a scam because it said not in original GM box.
Yeah.
So you're like, well, the thing is, parts that were meant to be assembled right on a car were, you know, were not
never in a
shipped.
box.
They're never in a
Yeah.
box because they were never meant to be sold as parts.
Right.
They were to be assembled on cars.
That's super cool.
Crazy the stuff that you go through to find really nice GM original parts for these.
Yeah. Well, it's going to set that money off.
Oh
It's
my
gonna
God,
be
this thing is going to be gorgeous.
Yeah.
When Tidy gets done polishing this thing,
Yep.
and we put all this new chrome and new trim on, oh my God.
It looks like a new car.
Oh, it's going to be
Because a lot
beautiful.
of times, the only thing when you polish one out, a lot of times you still have that bad chrome. or
Right,
bad
like the
pieces
taillight.
that you can't find.
Yeah, like the taillight bezels
Yeah.
on this car. Like from a distance, that car looks really, really nice.
Yep.
But when you get up on it and you start looking at all the little details,
They're
it's
like
like,
pitted a little bit.
yeah. And it is what it is, you know? But this stuff is so hard to find.
Yeah. You've been all over North America getting it.
After I got done visiting with Todd over at Jack's Wax, it was time to head to the airport to pick up Uncle Bob, who flew down to Florida to help the boys at Immokalee in my absence.
Hey! You ready to go home?
How was your flight?
It was long. It seemed to be long and loud
Really?
for some reason. It had Wi-Fi, so I was able to play on the internet, play on
There you go.
Facebook.
Did you have a good time?
I had a great time. The boys wore me out.
Thankfully, me and Bob made it back to the house in the El Camino before the rains came. I picked up a whole bunch of stuff. I picked up an Uncle Bob. Found him at the airport. And this radiator came out of that 67 Chevelle. They're not going to reuse it because they're putting an LS in it. And then because the radiator hose has to go to the other side of the radiator for that.
They're contaminating it.
Yeah, they're going to contaminate it. And then in this, if I can get it open, I found the alternator and the power steering pump with all the brackets. And I don't even think he cut the hoses, so that's a good thing. So that brings us to a wet and dreary Wednesday morning. Well, good morning, everybody. So the El Camino V8 project has hit a snag. This 327 back here that I picked up, I'm sure it's a low mileage engine, at least I think it is. The car is supposed to be 67,000 original miles, but this thing is a mess inside. And I'm concerned that if I put this engine in there in the condition that it's in right now, it won't be long before when I start it up, it's going to start smoking and valve seal problems. And, you know, it probably needs to come apart and be freshened up, unfortunately. That's going to delay the V8 into the El Camino project a little bit. I do still have that 350 back here that I got from Tyler that came out of that 70 Nova. And there's a possibility that it's in much better shape than this. So I don't know. I don't really have time right now to pull that engine up here and get it ready. Tanner's at the doctor's office this morning for his burns, so he's not going to be here till later. And I've got a set of valve covers out here in the truck I need to take up to Uncle Bob for the dyno session today. So anyway, I'm going to head to Bob's. Bob's been back and forth between Ohio and Florida quite a bit over the last month and a half, but he's back up there today, working on a number of different projects. First of all, he's got Rob's 6-liter LS in the boring bar, and right behind Bob, Jimmy Dale's 434 is in the hone. And then there's Bucko's 327 project, which has hit a snag. Unfortunately, the factory forged crank has a thrust surface that's completely shot. The 440 for my Monte Carlo is waiting on a camshaft, and the Junkyard Dog 5.3 has just been pulled off the dyno to make room for Tommy's 415. This is a standard 23-degree small block Chevy that we put together for Tommy's S10. The stud girdles, rocker arms, and cylinder heads are all from TrickFlow, as well as the intake manifold. An Isky solid roller cam hides behind the Comp 2-piece cover inside the Dart little M block. The rotating assembly consists of a Lenati 3.875 stroke crank, a brand new set of SCAT 6-inch forged connecting rods, J&E forged 13-to-1 dome pistons, and we'll be firing it up with Bob's ATM gas 1050 carburetor to seat the rings and put the first few heat cycles on the engine before we make dyno pulls tomorrow. Bob was finishing up putting spark plugs in it and getting it ready to fire up on the dyno for the first time when I pulled up in my truck. The only thing left to do was to create a file for the dyno pulls that we plan on making tomorrow, so long as the first fire up goes okay and we don't have any problems. Dude, that thing sounds really, really good. It revs quick.
Way too quick.
Not way too quick, it revs quick.
You can't be way too quick.
You can't be way too quick.
No, there's nothing way too quick.
No.
Except one thing, maybe, but we ain't going there today.
We ain't gonna go there.
Bob, oh my goodness. Yeah, this thing sounds really, really good. It's been a minute since we've had a solid roller small block Chevy on the dyno. You know what I mean? All my stuff's been hydraulic roller for a long time. You know, everything I've done. That thing is crisp. I mean, real crisp.
With that great ATM carburetor on.
Yeah. Yeah, that's your dyno carburetor.
That's the dyno
That's the one that we've never touched.
Just put it on anything from a 355 to a 560, 540.
Yeah, it's been on just everything that
Big
we've
block.
had on the dyno.
Yep, small big blocks.
So we've put some heat cycles on it. We're going to put heat cycles on it. That's the first one. And then maybe tomorrow we'll put a fresh set of plugs in it.
Yeah.
Make some pulls, huh? Get out our screwdrivers and our timing light and get to work. What you doing, Squirrely?
Burning the midnight oil. Out
Burning the
here,
midnight oil.
Slaving away on these orders. Yeah.
At least you got your male Camino back.
I do.
Doesn't it look nice?
It does.
I'm so happy with it. They did a really nice job matching the paint.
It's like it never happened.
It looks better than it did when we bought it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gorgeous. They did a great job, and I can't believe how fast they did it too. Mm-hmm. It's really, really great. Thank you guys.
We really appreciate them working us in.
Yeah.
100%. Because they've got a shop clear full of projects up there.
I know. Stuff keeps piling on.
Yeah. First it was the 55, and now Tojo's up there.
Yeah.
And then I tore up your El Camino.
Yeah.
They worked that in.
Always
But
something.
yeah, they're definitely busy. But they're going to take a little time off this weekend.
Where are they going?
Same place we're going.
They're going too?
Yep.
We should carpool.
Well, we might. You know, I'm not opposed to it. So let's share this.
Okay.
So where are we going?
Detroit.
For?
Autorama? Is that
That's
what it's
it.
called?
Yep, the Detroit Autorama.
I know nothing about this.
So me and Vicki are going to go,
Mm-hmm.
and Paul and Nikki from House of Pearls are going. I'm not sure if Jesse's going or not, but we're all going up there. And also Tanner and his girlfriend are going. You didn't know that, did you?
didn't know
That's
that.
a detail that you
So-
didn't know.
Tanner's girlfriend was over here the other night, and she's so sweet. I really like her. So
Yeah,
that'll
she's
be fun.
nice. Yeah, she's.
Good. Maybe that's will like involve lunch and.
Oh my goodness, here we go.
Okay.
Maybe we can
So-
figure out what the situation is on the walls at the next place, huh? The milkmaid incident. Let's see what you find.
Yeah.
So the other thing I've got to announce is that not this weekend. We're going to Autorama this weekend, but
Is
next.
it Rama or Ram?
Whatever.
Autorama or Autorama?
It's not a Rama. I don't know.
Okay, but where are we going next weekend?
Nitrous Nationals.
Never heard of that.
Well, we've never been there.
Is that like a new thing?
No,
It's been
but
around?
no, it's at Shady Side Dragway in North Carolina, and Jimmy Dale's going.
I think I better stay home with the pups.
What? You don't want to go?
I'll send you down with Jimmy and I'll stay here
No,
with
the pups are going with me. I'm taking the big trailer.
Oh, it's not ready. It's winterized.
It will be ready by the time that weekend gets here. We've got 2 weeks. We've got a lot of work to do around here. Oh yeah, and your little El Camino project hit a snag.
What?
The 327,
Yeah.
it's not going to work out too good. It needs to come apart. However, the 350 I brought back from New York looks pretty clean inside, so it's a winner.
Wait, so which one will go in the male Camino?
The 350. It's the cleaner of the two. I wanted to put the 327 in it, which you
But
can't
it needs
really.
work.
It needs, yeah, it's pretty bad.
Have you taken apart the 350 yet?
I had Tanner take the valve cover off of it today to check it.
Yeah.
And it's clean as a pin inside, so it's good to go.
I'm knocking on wood.
Yeah, knock on wood. The guy that's got a machine shop at his disposal, we're trying to look under rocks for something to put in the El Camino because
Right.
Bob's got so much stuff going on up here right now.
God.
He doesn't really have time to monkey with it, but we'll figure something
Hey,
out.
can we show everybody my desk? Look.
Oh my
desk
God.
pops up so I can do the shipping and I can stand because I'm like grabbing stuff and I'm back and forth and like I love it.
You've got a pretty nice setup out here, I'm not going to lie. And Vickyville's looking pretty good down there.
Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there.
We're getting there.
I just love it.
All right.
So I have decided that the 5.3 LS giveaway that's going on right now.
Oh, yeah. I just
So-
went up there and took video of it today because
Right.
it ends tonight or something.
No. Don't say that.
What?
Cut that.
What?
It ends Friday.
Oh, it ends Friday.
Friday.
Okay.
So originally we said end of the month. Well, then I got to looking at the calendar, and well, February's a short month, and Friday's the 1st. A lot of people get paid on the 1st of the month, so I'm like, you know what? Let's just extend it to Friday at 11.
Wait a minute. I'm freaking rushing to get this video done tonight because this was my last chance to talk about the
Tomorrow's
giveaway.
Thursday.
I know. That's why I'm trying to get this video up tonight. I came
Right,
home and
so when
I
the
missed
people
dinner with
watch it-
everybody tonight so I could get this video done.
Right.
Because this is my last chance to talk about the 5.3 Junkyard
Right.
Dog giveaway.
Because when these people are watching it on Thursday, they've either got to do it Thursday or they have to do it Friday, and then it's done.
So now you're extending it?
One day to Friday at 11:59 p.m. Yeah.
So you've got until Friday if you want to get in. I was rushing to get this video done.
Mm-hmm. I know.
I
but
didn't
listen,
know that you were
after
going to
I
extend
looked
it.
at the calendar and how it fell and everything, I'm like, I should just let it go to the 1st.
Okay, so now you've got till Friday. If you want to win the 5.3 Junkyard Dog LS motor, you can either
Anything
get
you
it.
can get.
Yeah, anything on the website gets you entered, but you can get this thing either with a stock EFI intake on it or an aluminum intake for a carburetor. I might even get ATM to throw in a carburetor. I don't know. We'll see. I haven't talked to him
And
about it.
then
I've been a little busy.
depending on where you live, if
God.
you're close enough, you could come here
Yeah.
and get it, or maybe if it's an area of the country that we're headed to soon, we can bring it to you, or if it's way far away, we'll ship it. But
Okay.
you have to be 18 at least and a resident of the United States.
The continental 48 states.
Say it that way, yeah.
That's what we're saying. All right, there's something else she wants to talk about.
Hot topic.
Hot topic?
Facebook scammers.
Oh, yeah.
They're running rampant.
Rampant?
Rampant.
Rampant? So everybody wants to be me, evidently. I don't know why. That doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. But there's a lot of fake Facebook profiles that are literally copying and pasting everything I say on Facebook, and it's not me.
Yeah.
So what I'm seeing is someone setting himself up for a big, scam? Probably.
I feel like they're building up the page. Right now, the page already has 12,000 followers,
Yeah,
right?
and it's not me.
And it's not Bill. It's
And
called
everybody's
Bill Lynn's
reported
Garage.
it.
Yeah.
Like everybody's reported it, and Facebook doesn't do shit
don't
about
care.
it. They don't care.
So basically, all we can tell you to do is unfollow the page and block the page.
And I haven't told you this yet, but someone reached out to me that actually works for Meta, whatever that is, Facebook. And they're working on getting me a blue check mark.
Verified?
Yeah.
God, that would help.
Well, it's pretty jippy because really it only costs $15 a month. But the problem is my name on Facebook is Bill Hoskinson.
Yeah.
My legal name is William.
Right.
So their automated bullshit that they go to verify you, since kicks me out because on my card it says William, but my name on Facebook is Bill. So
what are they gonna do?
I don't know. They're going to deal with it somehow. I guess.
Maybe there's some special thing you can fill out to get around that.
No.
No? Okay, so for now, the only two Facebook
My arm is
pages,
about to fall off.
There's 2 Facebook pages. It's either Bill Hoskinson or it's SRC Garage. That's it. There is no Old Man's Garage Facebook page.
Are we done?
Yeah.